Today we are going to talk obesity, life's burdens, and embracing transformation with our special guest, author of The Wait Is Over, Eric Johnson. Let's rise together. Eric, welcome to Thrive and Rise with Tiffany. To begin, could you share with us what inspired you to write The Wait Is Over, My Battle with Obesity, Self-Acceptance, and Transformation? Was there a particular moment or experience that sparked this journey?
Tiffany, thank you so much for having me on the program, on your platform. I do appreciate it. Appreciate everyone that's watching and listening. What inspired me was I had got to a point in my life to where the weight was just entirely too much to deal with. I made certain efforts in the past just to try to lose weight and just go on that up and down scale, and never was able to really just get to the point in my life to where, just cut the weight off completely. So for me to write the book, I had got to a point, like I said, and just to be able to journal, make sure I journal everything, from start to now, still journaling.
That's awesome. Before you began writing your book, what did your struggle with obesity look like? And how was it on a day-to-day basis? How do those challenges shape your understanding of self-worth and transformation?
Day-to-day basis, it was tough. I got to the point to where I was had both knees replaced, left hip replaced. It was just way too much weight just on my frame. And as you can see, I'm not tall. So I'm like 5'7.5", and I'm almost 600 pounds. So when you have that much weight on your joints, you're going to be in pain every day. You're waking up in pain. You're going to bed in pain. You're waking up in pain. You're going through your entire day. So it was painful during that time, and I just got to the point to where I was like, okay, enough is enough. I wasn't old. So I got to the point I'm like, hey, I got to do something about this. And once you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, that's when you take it to the next level.
I remember that transformation. I remember that period of time for you. And I've seen you off and on since we were kids. So I've gotten a chance to witness firsthand the struggle that you had. And this, I think, is the skinniest, even when you were a teenager, the skinniest I've seen you. How much do you weigh today?
Right now I'm at 195. So going from 500 and actually my highest weight was like 562. I got to like 562 pounds. So from 562 to 195. And I want to really kind of stay within that range between the 190, 195, 180. Because like I said, I've never been small. I've always had some weight. I played ball, growing up. So I've always had some kind of weight, but just not that much weight.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is definitely an amazing transformation that you've taken. You've openly discussed your struggles with emotional eating. Could you share how this has impacted your life and what led you to recognize it as a challenge?
Emotional eating. Sometimes you have individuals who will, instead of eating, they may go smoking or drinking. Mine was food. So food for me was comfort. You know, even now, I still have to, in my mind, if I'm upset about something, instead of going into the refrigerator, I have to keep in my mind like, okay, let me stop, maybe drink some water, and I have to really think about what I'm getting ready to do. When I'm upset, that's exactly what happens. So for me at that time, I was emotional eating because that was really my comfort zone. I would go and grab something to eat, come back real quick, and next thing you know, I'm falling asleep, which is not good. So
The holiday season, it often brings increased stress and emotional eating for people. Statistics show that many individuals struggle with weight gain during this period. How did you navigate these types of challenges, and what advice can you offer to others facing the same situation?
you know, anytime there's a holiday, birthdays, any type of celebrations, you're getting close to graduation time. There's always going to be food somewhere. My thing, a lot of times, what I do now, even now, is I will go ahead and eat. I eat, but I just don't overindulge. Holiday time, Christmas, Thanksgiving, you're gonna eat. You can't fool yourself and say, okay, I'm not gonna eat. So you're gonna eat. You may do a plate, and that's it. You know, you don't go back the next day because there's so much. I mean, sometimes wherever you go, a lot of times there's a lot of food. You got friends, family, everybody kind of hanging around. So I just put in my mindset like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to have my food. I'm going to have my dessert, but that's it. After I do that initial, and I cut it off. So my advice to individuals is to pretty much kind of go that same route. Go ahead, have fun, but just don't overindulge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. What practical tips can you share for everyone about healthy eating habits that they can maintain during the holidays without feeling deprived?
One of the things I usually do, especially now, I will start with water. So as far as even when it's time to eat, I drink me maybe a couple glasses of water prior to eating food. So those are some of the things that I do even to today. Just recently, I did like a 2-week gallon of water per day challenge to some of my friends on Facebook, Instagram. I was like, look, let's do this. You guys want to do this with me? So we did the entire 2 weeks, a gallon of water each day.
And did that help you to lose weight as well?
It did. I mean, just to flush out your system. And sometimes I would do those challenges. I do the water challenge, and there's other challenges. I do no meat challenge, kind of looking into the plant-based thing a little bit. I still eat meat. I still do chicken, fish, things like that. But sometimes I will do like a plant-based diet every now and again.
How
So
much
I would
water
do
do
those.
you typically drink on a day?
Typically, I will do a gallon.
Okay.
I usually do a gallon each day. But I had stopped.
Okay.
I stopped for a while, so I had to challenge myself. Like, okay, this is something that I got to get back into. Let me invite a few people, see if they want to do it with me. So I invited my wife. I invited a few other people from church. Like, hey, let's do this together. And for the most part, yeah, it worked.
It helped get
Yeah.
you back motivated.
It helped me get me back motivated, get on
Get you
track.
back going.
Yeah.
That's good. Your book also details a very personal battle with not only obesity, but the journey towards self-acceptance. How did you translate these experiences, and challenging experiences into a message of hope and transformation for your readers?
Basically, what I did was really just being honest, letting everybody know that, hey, everything that I'm writing in this book, this is my life. You know, being transformational, just to let people know, like, it's not easy, but at the same time, this is something if you want to overcome and be healthier as an individual. I mean, because without health, you can't do anything. You know, I've been down that road to where I'm sitting in the house, laid off, 5.5 years. You're sitting in the house and the walls steady caving in. I couldn't do anything. I was stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. So I had to
Thank God.
thank God and get out of that
Yeah.
that mold, get out of that funk.
How long did it take you?
It took me approximately 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it took around 2 years just to try to get myself back on track. A lot of motivational speaking, a lot of pastors that I know, per se. Shout out to Pastor Lindor over at Detroit City Temple, Seventh-day Adventist Church over on Grand River. So, you know, a lot of you got to have your community. You know, your community of folks that's riding with you. You know, and those are the people, and I mentioned it in the book too. I have 5 people that I usually kind of bounce ideas off
Your
of.
support system.
That's my support system. So, and even to this morning, you know, there was something that was going on, and I'm like, hey, I need you guys to pray for me.
Yeah.
And so it was like, we got you. There's a couple guys out of town. We got you.
And those support systems are so important.
Absolutely.
You have to have a good support system
You have
to help you get through things.
Yeah.
You went from one vulnerable space
Mm-hmm.
to another. So, you know, being overweight, being, as you said, with the walls closing in on you, that's a very vulnerable space.
Mm-hmm.
But then also to open yourself up to tell the story to the world in a book, that's another very vulnerable space.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was it like for you to expose and be vulnerable on those pages? And how do you think that vulnerability resonates with those who are facing similar challenges as you?
You know, I was just being real. I just wanted to let people know, like, hey, this is what it is. This is what I had to deal with. And just be real with people. You know, let people know, like, hey, it's not going to be easy. Because if it was easy, everybody would do it. You know?
Absolutely.
But just to let people know this is what you got to do in order to make it to that next level. And like I said, you know, just talk about doing the different challenges and doing different things like that, and just to help you, just keep you motivated. Those are the things that help me out.
And you showed us it may not be easy,
Yeah.
but it is doable and it is worth it.
Yes.
That's awesome. Sometimes our struggles can be so overwhelming that we're tempted to deal with them alone.
Mm-hmm.
What signs, what did it take for you to see that, hey, here's an indication that you've reached a point where you have to reach out for that support? And how can someone take that courageous first step?
You know, you just have to be real and honest with yourself. I think one of the things for me, I had sleep apnea at the time. So I literally slept on the couch for 2 years. I was too scared to lay down. My wife told me, she was like, I think you need to go to the sleep apnea doctor,
Wow.
you know, because you stop breathing. And I was like, oh man, you know, this is serious. So I took amongst myself, went and got tested, stayed overnight, the whole 9, and they tested me. I had the machine, and I literally slept on the couch for 2 years with the sleep apnea machine right next to me. So that was really a scary moment.
Wake up call for
That was a
you.
wake up call. I was like, no, I can't keep going like this. Yeah.
A lot of people do. It takes a lot of strength to
Yeah.
say, hey, I've reached a pivotal point and this is it.
Mm-hmm.
I have to do something. Was there any other specific breakthrough moments when you felt a shift in your mindset to approach life? How did that moment change your path forward?
It was when I took a look at myself and I said, you know what? I have to take weight loss not as something that's going to be hard or difficult. I had to start loving myself. I really did. I had to love who I was and who God created me to be. And it wasn't until then when I got it. And it was that shift, that mindset shift, that I was like, okay, I think I got it now. It took me a few years, but I think I got it to where I can not only help myself, but help other individuals as well, just to get to that next level and to cross that path. Because once you get over on that other side, it's sweet. I mean, I've done skydiving, out in California. That was stuff I would never be able to do.
Yeah.
Just because of the weight. Just being able to live life. I knew I had so much more life in me, and just sitting around, I was like, nah, it's time to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that mind shift, that's so important, changing your mindset.
Yes.
Being able to say, I love myself and I'm okay with who I am today, although I want to get better and be the best version of myself. But you had to accept yourself first.
I did. I really did. I had to accept who God created me to be and to see myself differently. There was times I'm like, I wanted to quit. I really did. I just wanted to give up. Like, this is not gonna work. Then I was just like, wait a minute, something has to change. And then, like I said, once you get yourself around certain individuals and, talk to, people like yourself, and just to keep that encouragement, you have no choice.
And it's worth getting to the other side.
It's worth it.
Well, it's a lot of work. It's not easy. It's hard. It's a heavy burden. But once you get to the other side of that, you're skydiving.
Oh, man. When I got up in that little small helicopter and the plane, and it was like 16,000 feet above the air on the clouds, and I'm like, what in the world am I doing? But it was fun, I'm not going to say I'll do it again, but it was fun. It was fun. It was challenging. I can actually check it off on my bucket list.
That's awesome. In your book, the weight is both literal and metaphorical. Mm-hmm. Can you elaborate on what the weight represented for you beyond the physical obesity, perhaps in terms of emotional or even societal burdens?
Oh, man, so societal. We'll just talk about that for a minute. I'll never forget going to a job interview on crutches. Mm-hmm. And I knew, if you looked at my resume on paper, I had the job. But as soon as I walked into the interview with, I think it was like a panel of 4 or 5 people, as soon as I walked in and just saw the look on their face, it was like, no, we're not going to hire you. It's like, we're not going to hire you. And I saw the look, I'm on crutches, I'm almost 500, I think I was at that time, probably around 500 pounds, but just new. And then, you get other stares, you get other looks, people looking at you, kids pointing at you like, oh, man.
What did that do
crazy
to your self-esteem to lose out on job opportunities?
Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. I mean, I'm trying to be the priest, the provider, the protector of my home. I want to be there for my wife, for my family. And when you didn't have resources, and you're steady sending out resumes and things of that nature, and it was tough. It was tough.
How did you cope dealing with the fact that you couldn't get those job opportunities that you were well qualified for, as well as those public stares that kept happening?
Yeah, it was, like I said, it was tough. I started, I'll never forget, when I first started going to the gym, because even going to the gym at that time, I was getting stares, people looking. But I'll never forget going to the gym, and I started off in the swimming pool. And so I'll never forget sitting into the handicap section. You're sitting in the chair, and the lady just she sat me in, one of the supervisors, and that's how I actually got started, lowered me into the pool. And so, the pool has this resistance. So I'm walking in the pool. So that's literally how I got started. But prior to, it took me 2 years to actually get to the gym. My wife had a membership. Well, she got both of us a membership at the gym, and I was like, I'm not going. I'm not going. I try to do something around the house or try to walk the neighborhood, which I never did do. But once I got into the gym, you just had to have that mindset like, look, I don't care what anybody say, the points, the stairs, and I got them too, every day, adults, kids. But I got to the point I was like, you know what, this is for me, and this is for me, and this is how it's going to be.
And you have to have that mindset. You
Yeah.
have to keep pushing regardless to the external factors if you want to make those life changes.
That's true. That's true.
How did the experience with obesity influence your sense of identity? And what advice would you give to someone who feels defined by their struggles, the body image, and societal expectations?
Man, that's a deep question. You really, like I said, you have to really, really lock in on yourself. I know you guys heard the term, you know, you are what you eat and things of that nature. You really have to lock in and tell yourself, look, this is what I'm going to do, regardless of what people say, family say. It doesn't make a difference. This is what I'm going to do so I can get myself healthy and so I can be able to live a long life, It was tough, but then again, like I said, I wouldn't change it for the world.
What practices have helped you maintain this transformation that you've undergone and ensure that the progress you make continues to grow? How do you stay resilient in the face of setbacks?
Perfect example this morning. Usually every Saturday morning I go to the gym to swim. Every Saturday morning I go to the gym. Normally during the week, I'm working out either 4 or 5 times a week. And so my routine is tricky. A lot of times people are like, man, you wake up at 3 o'clock every morning? Yes, I do. I literally wake up at 3 o'clock every morning. 3 a.m., I'm having worship. And usually from that point, I leave, go to the gym, get my workout in for an hour, a couple hours, and usually just kind of go from that point. So as far as setbacks, even now, I just have to tell myself, like even now, we had a conversation. So I don't even know if I should have went swimming this morning, but I did. There were times where I was just like, hey, this is something that I got to do, and you get into that routine. Especially, we just had spring break, in the school system. I went out of town. So when I went out of town, a lot of times people ask, especially if you see people at the gym every day, like, man, where'd you go? Where have you been? So when you have that accountability and people are accountable and, you're talking to these people every day, you see these people every day, you have no choice but to, like, okay, yeah, let me get myself together, even when you don't feel like it.
Absolutely. As you continue to inspire others with your story, what is one key message you hope every reader takes away from The Wait Is Over?
Lock in. Don't quit. Just do not quit. I don't care how long it takes. Just lock into your ability to be able to lose the weight. It can be done. It's not easy. But once you get going, and then I think another thing too is once other individuals start to notice, and like, starting to come down a little bit, it just motivates you. It just gets you excited, just to take it to the next level. So my thing is to lock in with yourself and just to stay focused. And that goes with anything, anything that you want to accomplish. Even during that time, over 500 pounds, I went back to school. Went back and got my master's. I was tired, going through pain, but that was something that I wanted to do. So anything that you want to do, you just have to lock in and do it. So that's what I would encourage people to do.
Lock in, stay focused, and keep taking one step.
One step at a time.
Put one foot in front of the other. I think a lot of people give up before they reach victory because they don't lock in.
That's right. That's right. And even just going back what I said, even to the gym, I never forget walking around the track. I literally walked around the track one time. My first day back. I walked around the track one time and I said, you know what? I'm tired. But I came back the next day, did 2 laps, went home. So it was just a process.
Half the battle is showing up.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. So just trust the process. And once you trust the process, you'll be able to overcome anything. Anything. Not just weight. But that was one of the reasons why I say the weight is over. Because it's not just physical. It's mental. There's other things in play, in fact.
Absolutely. Yeah. Where can our listeners learn more about your journey, follow your updates, or reach out if they need guidance in their own transformation? Well,
I'm on all social media. Anybody can reach me on all the platforms, Facebook, Instagram. And just type in Eric L. Johnson, and it should pop up.
Perfect. Yeah. And finally, what is your personal mantra or affirmation that keeps you grounded and motivated to thrive and rise?
My personal mantra is, God has brought me this far. He's not about to leave me.
Amen.
He's not about to leave me.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. As we continue our journey of growth and connection, let's take a moment to hear from our sponsors who make this podcast possible. After this brief message, we'll return to address questions from our audience. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
How'd it happen?
She showed up dead on arrival.
This never gets easier.
It does when you call CarShield before your car breaks down. Look at these prices. The camshaft, transmission, engine.
Don't people know? A plan through CarShield could protect up to 5,000 parts and systems.
You hate to see it.
An out-of-warranty car is gonna break down eventually.
Right, which is why they need a plan through CarShield.
Best of all, you'll get access to CarShield's concierge service, who can even help you find a mechanic near you.
They're notifying the family.
Poor guy. He doesn't even know what's coming.
Another victim of senselessly expensive repair bills. Can't save them all.
But we can keep trying. Didn't have to end this way. If he'd have just called CarShield before his car broke down.
Exactly.
CarShield has an A rating with the Better Business Bureau and was voted America's most trusted auto protection company. It's time to call CarShield now. Call 800-636-1039.
Can your IRA stand up to the next financial crisis that our top economists are saying is at our doorsteps? By allocating a percentage of your IRA into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns by putting your IRA back on the gold standard. Find out how to safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Call now for your free gold and silver report. Protect your IRA today with one simple phone call and learn how to qualify for up to $10,000 in free silver. Call Genesis Gold Group, empowering faith-driven stewardship.
Call 877-588-0324. That's 877-588-0324. Again, 877-588-0324.
Huh, why would anybody do that?
If you're paying high interest rates on your credit cards, you're burning money. We're Consolidated Credit, and we've been helping Americans for over 30 years. Let us work with your creditors to reduce your total payments by up to 50%. Lower your high interest rate credit cards and stop juggling multiple payments. We help you pay down your debt faster than you can on your own, all while saving you thousands in interest charges. Consolidate your credit card bills into one affordable payment today. You don't have to be good with money, because we are. Call 855-732-6487 for a free consultation. 855-732-6487. Call Consolidated Credit today. That's 855-732-6487.
People ask all the time, who the heck is Low Cost Airlines? Well, we're not just one airline. When you're talking to us, you're talking to everyone. We are the discount supermarket for all airline tickets. Plus, we have all the airlines and always have the best prices. American, Delta, United, plus all the specialized international airlines, and a lot more. And we make it easy. We guarantee you'll talk to a live human in 60 seconds. You can have the rates you need and have your trip booked in 5 minutes. Now, how cool is that? And remember, when you're talking to us, it's like talking to every single airline available with one fast phone call. All you need to do is call and find the best prices to fly wherever it is you want to go. So are you ready? Call Low Cost Airlines right now.
Call 855-662-0261. That's 855-662-0261. Again, 855-662-0261.
Hi, everyone. It's Tiffany Tilley, and I am beyond excited to invite you to a life-changing event. March marks the kickoff of the Thrive and Rise monthly book club and the launch of the Thrive and Rise podcast. We'll be diving into the first book in the Know Thyself book series, A Journey to Self-Empowerment. And I can't wait to get started with you all. Join me here at the Motor City Java House, where we'll connect, explore personal growth, and take this journey to self-empowerment together. I've poured my heart into creating this space for you, where we will uncover the tools and practices to break through limitations, overcome self-doubt, and step boldly into our purpose. And here's the best part. I'll have discounted copies of A Journey to Self-Empowerment available in person, so you can get your signed copy directly from me. Come for the inspiration, stay for the community. RSVP today by emailing knowthyselfbookseries@gmail.com, or you can find us on Eventbrite. Let's rise together. And don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share so that we can reach more people who need this. Welcome back, everyone. We hope you enjoyed that brief break. Now it's time to dive back into the conversation. We're going to take some questions from the audience, and we're excited to hear your thoughts. Let's get started with our first question from the audience.
Good afternoon. This is Dr. Ratanji. I just have a quick question, and it relates to your self-esteem. Did you find after you lost weight, your self-esteem increased? But sometimes it can affect you mentally when you're not at your best physical and mental health. Do you find your self-esteem increase or boost after the weight loss?
Thanks for the question, Doctor. Yeah, I did. I did. There was times where, like I said, when you're down. But now, it's totally different. So my self-esteem has increased quite a bit. Not arrogant, but
Right.
I can do things now. I can actually physically do things now. So yes, it has.
It was just a thought, because sometimes mentally, when you feel down, you're not your best, you're not looking your best.
Yeah.
And overall, it affects everything.
That's true. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
My question is actually along those same lines.
Mm-hmm.
You spoke about when you initially had started, it started with you realizing that you needed to love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is, what mental exercises did you do to prepare yourself for that concept when society was telling you that you should not love yourself?
I got into the Word. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a Christian, and I really started to study and dived into the Word. It got me to a certain point to where to love myself, and like I said, to look at myself the way God would see me. And that was transformative. I mean, it just changed my whole mindset. You know, I'm like, if I look at how I'm looking now at almost 600 pounds, of course you can't love yourself, but God, he loves me. And I had to really get that into my mind, and it really changed my mind and got me to think positive thoughts on a lot of different things. And then, you know, like I said, just going back and forth to different motivational videos and staying within that community of individuals that keep me motivated.
So what would you say to, like, and I know that adults have this battle too, but speaking predominantly to youth who are valuing value issues, self-value, self-worth, what would you say to them when they're constantly being bombarded with negativity, those looks, those stares, and they're trying to become better, but society is holding them back?
Yeah, society is going to be society. You know, people are going to say whatever. People are going to do whatever. I mean, even to now, to this day. I mean, I still get, you know, negative comments, you know, even to this day. Even when you try to come with a positive angle, I'll never forget, perfect example. I'm in the classroom, I'm a teacher. So I'm in the classroom and I'm showing some of the kids, you know, some of the videos and stuff that I made from when I was heavy until now. So now some of the kids, they're turning it into a joke. And they're like, Mr. Johnson, show me that video again of you being fat. I'm like, so you guys still didn't get you guys still didn't get the picture. So you have to really, really, like I said before, lock in, know your self-worth, and just tell yourself like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to improve myself every day, whether or not if it's physically, read one of Tiffany's books, and study and make sure, you know, and work on yourself. That's how you have to do. You have to do that on a daily basis.
And that's it. We're during the book club, we're going to focus on Know Thyself, a journey to self-empowerment, alone time, and communication. But that alone time is a very powerful piece of when you're doing your self-talk, when you're doing the work, when you're building your self-worth and empowering yourself.
That's right.
Next question.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
My first one is, do you offer coaching?
I do. I do. I offer coaching. You can just go to the website, yourwaitisOvernow.com. So we're going to start really kicking in more so in the coaching. I have a couple of licensed people to help me out in that coaching area. But yeah, I do. I offer coaching as well.
Awesome. Okay. And I know earlier you had mentioned, as it relates to eating, that you do not deprive yourself, which is good. You just eat in moderation. So in the beginning, when you were first starting your journey, did you focus on counting calories, or did you just like start eating off of smaller plates? Like, how did you navigate your eating in the beginning?
Actually, both. So what I did was I downloaded this app, and I still use it to today. It's called myfitnesspal.com. And basically, I typed in, you know, whatever I'm getting ready to eat that day or that particular meal, I type it in, and I just try to stay within those calories. And like I said, it's really a mindset to what you're going to do as far as staying within those calories. So it was really both. Yeah, it was really both.
Okay. And then my last question is, what advice would you give to someone to help them to shift from a diet mentality to a healthy lifestyle mentality? Because diets fail. And if they're focused on dieting, and if they so happen to have a cheat day, they go off the rail, they may get discouraged and stop altogether. So how can one shift their mindset to thinking overall health versus diet?
It's one of the things I usually tell people is it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So you have to look at it like, okay, even if you do have a cheat day, I have a cheat day once a week. And I just don't go overboard, but I will cheat. I have my cheat day. I may do a sweet or two, but like I said, for the most part, I'm making sure that I get my water in, staying full off of my water, and, you know, just go for it. Just not, like I said, even if you do eat, just eat in moderation. Don't deprive yourself, and don't down yourself as well, because those days will come. You know, it'll be times when you just like, hey, I don't feel like doing it today. I'll jump back on tomorrow. You know, I'll jump back on track tomorrow. So, yeah, just don't deprive yourself. Just keep going, and it's a marathon. You're doing something every day to just try to keep yourself, or try to get to your goal.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Was there ever a time, I know there's a phenomenon where sometimes people will look in the mirror and not see the weight loss. Did you ever go through that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I went through that several times. You know, and it wasn't until after a period of time when other individuals were like, you look like you're losing a little bit. So, and I'm like, oh, okay, really? Yeah, I couldn't notice it, but other individuals noticed it before I did. And then so I was like, okay, well, let me keep going. Yeah.
So did you get discouraged during that time frame?
I did. I got a little discouraged because, you know, you're putting in the work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you may not see it right away.
Yeah.
But you still may be losing in inches. There still may be some weight loss, but you may just not see it right because you're so used to seeing yourself, you know, at a certain time. So yeah, there was times where, you know, you get discouraged, but you just keep going.
And that's good that you had other people helping to motivate you.
Oh, yeah.
And noticing.
I got some good people around me to help. Family, friends, you know, church members. So yeah, I got a lot of, I got my crew.
Very good. Next question.
Hi, I have a question.
Yes.
But you all know that because I have the mic. What did you do with your, because I know you.
Yes.
What did you do with your fat clothes when you were leveling down? And this is a real fat question. And liking to dress, did you go through that phase where it's like, I gotta hold on to this wardrobe of 6Xs because I paid a lot of money for it, and you did it, but what, you know, so how did that, was that a part of the excuse making that you made? And then what did you do with all those clothes after you lost?
You know, that's a good question. One of the things I did first, let me just say, I was a size 7X shirt and a size 66 in pants. So, and then just like Sam said, I loved the dress. I really did. I really like the dress. So with those clothes, I literally had bags and bags and bags of clothes. So I just gave them away. I said, you know what, Salvation Army, somebody else can benefit from all of that stuff. But there were times when you're like, man, I don't know whether or not if I'm ready to get this away just yet. You know, this might be a nice polo shirt or something like that I just want to hang on to. So there was times, I mean, even now, I still have like a nice Detroit Lions jersey that I paid some decent money for, and I'm like, man, I don't want to get this thing away.
Those jerseys are not cheap.
Those jerseys are not cheap. So what I've done, I've actually held on to the jersey and just kind of like, okay, this is the size I used to be. I just kind of hold on to it. I won't wear it or anything, 'cause I can, it's way too big. But yeah, there were clothes that I just kind of just gave away. Yeah, Salvation Army, they cleaned up.
Thank you so much. Did you have any final thoughts that you wanted to share?
No, just my final thoughts is, like I said, if you guys want to, and those that are watching online, keep in touch with me, get in touch with me. I can be reached on my social media. I'm on every platform, Eric L. Johnson, Facebook, Instagram. It doesn't matter, so please reach out to me.
Can I make up one more question?
You can ask a question, yes.
Okay, here's another question. Since we're hearing some Johnny Guitar Watson right now, what was the soundtrack of your life as you were
That's a good
going through your paces? Did you adopt a soundtrack, and how much did music play a part in your weight loss journey?
See, that's interesting that he would ask that question, because we just gonna give a quick shout out to Detroit music right now. So, Samuel Down. But yeah, music played a huge part in my life. I grew up in hip hop, old school hip hop. So going to the gym, I'm listening to hip hop.
And you used to be at the record store on 6 Mile and Evergreen all of the time. What was the name of that record store?
Chauncey's Records.
Chauncey's, yes.
So I used to live up there. So music played a huge part, and still does, to my life. Kind of switched it up a little bit. I still listen to my old school hip hop, but I'm a Christian too, so I have my gospel music going at the same time. So I have a lot of different genres that I listen to, but those are the two kind of main music selections that I kind of listen to kind of get me through the process. Music is huge.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a good motivator too. Sometimes I put on my headphones, go for a walk, and listen to my gospel music, and it definitely gets me together, keeps me going. But I want to thank everybody for coming out, and thank everybody for watching. Thank you for joining this episode of Thrive and Rise with Tiffany. We hope today's discussion has inspired you to grow, connect, and thrive in your personal and professional life. To further your journey of self-discovery and empowerment, we invite you to explore the Know Thyself book series, designed to deepen your understanding of self-awareness and personal growth. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Your support helps us to reach more listeners and continue providing valuable content. Stay connected with our community for more empowering episodes, and as always, keep thriving with Tiffany.
People ask all the time, who the heck is low-cost airlines? Well, we're not just one airline. When you're talking to us, you're talking to everyone. We are the discount supermarket for all airline tickets. Plus, we have all the airlines and always have the best prices. American, Delta, United, plus all the specialized international airlines, and a lot more. And we make it easy. We guarantee you'll talk to a live human in 60 seconds. You can have the rates you need and have your trip booked in 5 minutes. Now, how cool is that? And remember, when you're talking to us, it's like talking to every single airline available with one fast phone call. All you need to do is call and find the best prices to fly wherever it is you want to go. So are you ready? Call Low Cost Airlines right now.
Call 855-662-0261. That's 855-662-0261. Again, 855-662-0261. What if this happened to you when you're alone? Or what if it happened here? With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Don't wait. Call us to get your Care Watch right now. Operators are standing by.